Hey guys, I'm Crayon, and I love Deadlock. Deadlock just released one of the biggest updates, changing the whole map, giving us an all-new main menu, and also dropping 6 new characters, 3 of which that are out at the time of the video. One of my favorite out of the 3 is Billy. I really like Abrams, Mo, and Shiv, and I like just brawling. So, I recently got rank 1 on Billy, and I wanted to make a guide because a lot of people in my chat have been asking me, how do you play Billy? Why do you play Billy? And what's good about Billy? So, let's just go into the why and his abilities now. So, who or wants to play Billy? Well, I think that Billy is a really fun character to play. First off, he's for the type of person that likes playing Abrams, Mo, Hanks, or Bruisers and just want to brawl, and even Shiv too to an extent. He's a really good bruiser tank hybrid, and he kind of just walks around and fights the whole game. Now, there's some upside and downsides to Billy, however. His downsides are his early game is really bad. He can be kited pretty easily, and also he's really susceptible to CC. A lot of the CC in this game he can't really do much against, and it's kind of hard for him to really get on top of people sometimes. The biggest upsides though are he's really tanky. He has a lot of CC himself with, you know, he has the knockups, he has his ult is amazing for team fights, and also he himself has a lot of damage. He packs a pretty big punch when it comes to his 1 and 3 just smashing people in the face. So let's just get into the abilities now. Looking at it's just his first ability, Bash Down. Bash Down is both a melee hit and also a spirit ability, which what I mean is it does physical damage based on your melee damage, right? So items like melee life steal, spirit strike, life strike, spirit snatch, crushing fist, they all scale the item, okay? This is really important to know though, is that before you get the last point in Bash Down, it's a light melee, okay? Now light melees is an important distinction for Billy because basically when you light melee with these items, they specifically have a cooldown, and also crushing fist, for example, is less effective with light melees. So like, if I hit this guy with Bash Down, okay? Only gives me 1 stack crushing, and my cooldowns are extremely long, okay? Now, let's say that I have max Bash Down, right? It gives me 2 stacks of crushing, and my cooldowns are faster on all my melee items. That's why it's really important if you're going for a melee Billy build. Max 1 is one of his biggest spikes. But generally, you want to get it like a little bit mid to late game. There's also some tech that you need to know with 1, such as if you dash in 1, you have some decent air momentum. You can also get some great like slams from distance when you're closing the gap on people. It's really important to know this. Alright, let's talk about this 2. So his 2 is fairly generic. It's just an uppercut, but it does have spirit scaling on it. So there is some interesting builds with this, as when you max it, it could do really good damage, as an example, against this dummy. But it's mostly a setup tool. You use it as both your escape and setup. So for example, if you want to set up a 1, you go for a 2, then a 1. Fairly basic stuff, right? But there's some hidden mechanics about it that isn't really said anywhere about it, okay? So for example, it has a vertical climb. So if you jump and press 2, you can climb up. You don't have to aim that high up even. You need to aim up kind of. Like aim up a little bit and you'll climb up, as you can see. It's really useful for getting out, and also it's really fast. So you can use it to hit people while coming down as well. So let's say you're flying on someone, up from the top, really nice. Another thing is, Billy can also use the 2 in any direction from the start. So what this means is that you can start it, but then turn it if you want to. So for example, you can instantly 180 him if you want to. So this can be really useful if someone's chasing you and you want to turn the fight. So if someone's chasing you, instantly 180. Oh, this takes practice, of course. But you have to do it at the start. If you don't do it at the start, then you can still turn, but it's a lot worse. So, for example, look at this. That's me trying to turn the same amount I just did, but without doing it early. So it's really important that you either do it early or you do it in a way where you're trying to set up for something. Like, for example, if I'm around a car and I know there's a guy here, I can do something like turn it into them and hit them. Really important. Let's talk about Blasted. Blasted is both a passive and an active ability. So when you melee someone, you get ammo back on Billy. So let's say that you're empty, right? Or about empty. When you light melee, you get about half, right? And it inflicts wrecked on them. And let's say that you want a full reload, right? You go ahead for a heavy melee, okay? Now, something really interesting about the ability is that it works even on the real animation, which for anyone who's ever played Billy for more than 5 seconds may notice is really long. So when you're empty, you can actually just melee, and it will finish a lot of the animation for you, and you will get your ammo back. However, it doesn't work if you're not hitting anyone, of course. So you can't just do that. Although, there is a fun thing about it where you can reload and light melee, and it does not stop your light melee at all. And this light melee mechanic we'll go into more. So, for the 3 also is wrecked. So wrecked is just a debuff. If they're wrecked, that means that their gun no shooty good. You can see right here it's suppressored, minus 15 fire rate, okay? The last part is the active. So the active gives you an amp on wrecked people, which is alright. It's not that much damage, as you can see right here. Oh, and he popped blasted. As you see right here, it's not that much damage. It's nice, it's not terrible. The other additional thing you need to know is that when you're blasted, right? Blasted gives you melee bonus health. Now, melee bonus health does not sound that strong to you guys, but it's probably one of the most important things about this kit, because melee bonus health does not get anti-healed, and is strictly health to your health pool. So let's say that you are 1 HP on Billy, right? And you hit someone blasted, right? You are getting a true heal. And light melees are half of the effectiveness of the bonus health. But heavies are full effectiveness, right? So, let's say you're in a fight, right? You're getting real heals that cannot be reduced. Even if you have heal bait, toxic bolt, spirit burn, it's one of the only heals that cannot be reduced in any way at all. And it also works against camps. And also, well, it used to work on towers. The reload only works on towers, but not the health portion. But yeah, this is really nice. This is one of his best abilities. Something that's really important to note about it is the talents. So the talents are fairly generic, except one of the most important ones you need to know when it comes to the rest of the kit, enables a lot of his kit, is on the second upgrade, you get a bash charge. So a lot of Billy combos rely on the fact that you can do this. So for example, using the stuff we learned earlier, right? You do uppercut, 1. Oh wait, let me draw cooldowns real quick, sorry. So we do uppercut, 1, pop 3, 1 again. You get 2 1s for free back to back, right? And as we said earlier about blasted, right? Blasted and your 1 interact really well because your 1's a melee hit, right? So let's say you're late game, right? On blasted, you max your blasted, right?
Ready to rumble, baby.
Pop 1, you get your full blasted health, which what we just said earlier is really strong. So knowing this is one of the most important things about Billy and why he's actually really good. Now look at the last ability, which is Chain Gang. Chain Gang is a close range ability that basically acts like a Sling Hex. So this chain, when it's on someone, will drag them to you, right? And another feature about it is that if they are hit with it, they cannot use any movement abilities, and they are slowed, which is super strong because if they're slowed and they're Sling Hex, they can't use Warp Zone, they can't use normal abilities like, say, a Mina Blink, or maybe a Dynamo 2, Brave TP, Infernus Run. It basically counters all movement abilities. It's one of the strongest ults in the game, actually. And it's super strong at late game, especially with Unstoppable on the pole, right? This ability is fairly weird, as in, like, you can grab people through cover like this. The chain takes a bit to break, so you can be fairly generous. Like, around here, you can actually drag them around the wall like that, if you are smart about it. And also, one of the nice things about it is that it works with other abilities too. So you can use your 2 to also chain someone far, like that, right?
Show me what you
And it's
got.
also a nice combo too, obviously, because once they get to your face, then with the 1, blast again, then with another 1, you know, stuff like that. It's really nice. And once you get Unstoppable, you can go for free melees. Every melee is kind of free with Unstoppable. Obviously, it's not free if you don't have Unstoppable because they can parry, but it's still kind of hard. Now, let's talk about the more advanced stuff about Billy. One of the most important mechanics about Billy that I feel no one knows and it's not shown in the game at all is his light melee stats. So, Billy is one of the most unique characters because his light melee does not slow him, okay? So, what this means is that if you look at my movement speed, right, it's 9.3 by default, right? So, let's say that I'm meleeing, okay? I'm gonna hold tab. Look at my movement speed. It's not moving. Look. It's not moving. My movement speed is not moving. It's not going below 7. I'm slowed by 1 MS every melee. Even in combat, it doesn't get slowed that much. Look. Only get slowed by a little bit. And if you buy Fleet Flute or something like that, you barely get slowed. So this is really important because this is basically saying that you should be light meleeing people. Heavy melee is not effective on his character because his light melees also, additionally, are faster than the average character. The average character cannot melee this fast. So let's look at, let's say, Abrams, right? The other melee character, right? Abrams cannot melee that fast. And you can see here, I'm getting slowed. Every time I'm meleeing, I'm slowed. I'm a slug. Look at my movement speed. I'm going from 6 to 2. That's 4 MS difference. MS, as you guys may know, is one of the most important things in this game. And being slowed while meleeing, no bueno. So Billy being able to light melee while running is one of his best aspects in his kit. Alright, let's go into this replay. So Billy is a fairly weak character when it comes to early game. So a lot of Billy's early game is just AFKing and waiting for good opportunities. He's really good in the side lanes and in the veils, but if you have to, in mid lane, you can play in the stairs. But I would recommend if you're playing Billy, do not play mid. Mid Billy is really bad. Similar to Abrams, he wants to just play in veils, hide, and try and bait people into fighting him. So as you can see with my early game on Billy, I'm just gonna sit here and just chill and vibe and just pray that I can get to the early game. Because this character is really bad early game. So we're gonna skip ahead to see when there's gonna be some action in this lane. So like as you can see here, I found by May Lifesteal, and I also have my 2 abilities. So once that 2 abilities, you can somewhat fight. So like for example, if someone tries to ult on your teammate, you can actually just set them up with a 1 and then walk them down. And since Billy's a melee character, usually you can go for some real quick melees and try and bait them into parry. Once they parry, it's free. You can just beat them to death like this and walk in their tower. He's really good at this situation, early game at least, if they decide to fight you. If they don't decide to fight you, then obviously it feels bad. And if they just poke you down, it feels really bad. So let's get to the next part in the replay. Looking a little further into the lane, one of his biggest upgrades is at 2.6 is when you get the second point blasted. Second point blasted gives him the reset. So playing around then is when you should look to fight. So we're gonna try and get off this wave, as you can see. So I get off this minion, and then I look in the fight. So I put the point in real quick, then I just run a Vindicta. So I know that I can do it. So now I hit the 2, blasted, reset, pop 1, hit him in the head, and then I just kite this furnace out, beat him up a little times, then I just start walking him down. Now you're a melee character, right? And the melee characters are about mind games. So this guy is in Dormant ult, so he knows I'm outside. So he's gonna parry, so I bait it. Yep, I wait for his parry, and I beat him to death. And I just walk at him. And that's basically just the gist of Billy in lane. So Billy in lane is just look for some nice fights from your teammate. If they fight you, you counter engage, beat them up, and that's about it. Also cool stuff like this where if your team sets you up like this, you just get free kills like that with Doorman. Let's look at a quick mid-game example. So Billy is a really good jungler. So a lot of time on Billy, you'll be jungling a lot. Because Blaster works on camps, like you can see there. And he also has a really good gun for killing jungle. So as you can see here, it first comes from me. And Billy, like I said, is one of the good 1v1ers. So you can see me use Chain Gang here. You make sure you can't run away. And I pull him back. Dodge the first ult with my mobility. And I just run him down. Walk him down. Billy's just a walk down character. He's one of the best 1v1ers because of Blasted. He just has so much health and it's just hard to get away from him with his ult. So that's basically just the mid game. A lot of mid games is jungling on them, getting a little bit of gold, and then just finding isolated targets and just killing them. So let's go into a late game team fight. Alright, let's look at a late game team fight for Billy. So I finally hit my Crushing Fist spike, and we have Rejuve and we want to hit the last walker. So Billy's kind of like a disruptor in team fights, and he looks to try and grab a group of people and just like smack them down. So I kept McGizmold here, but now I just C4, I'm walking in. Hit a big slam, walk in, get more some slams. Keep walking around, just find some random person and beat them to death. Whoever we can find, beat them up. I'm Crushing Fist now, so it's okay to heavy melee. But obviously you want to light melee a decent amount of this character. And just shoot at people and run them down. I still have Rejuve, so I'm willing to just run at them. I get buried, but it's all good. I have Rejuve, just run it up, and I still have my ult. So, I'm chained. Oh, me and CC. A little bit of kiting, but it's all good. Alright, wrap around, get a flank. Big ult, grab 2. And this is what you don't want to do with Billy. Grab all 3 stum up for my team, and it's just 3 kills from there. Now we need to kill this walker, so unfortunately I'm gonna have to fight the bull and die back here, but my team should surely get the walker, and that's just the average Billy team fight basically. Just get CC'd, randomly one shot, CC's the random people, and they die. Anyway guys, I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you guys end up playing Billy and you guys like playing him. Alright, bye guys!